What's up, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I am going to get a couple things ready, and I'll be right back. Just hang tight. Hey, what's up, Crispy? What's up, Sean? What's up, Lisa? How you guys doing? Just pulling up my Omernet, my government internet. So bear with me. Damn. I just lost it. Shit. I just had something I wanted to pull up here. Wait, maybe I still do. Oh, no. Damn it. Oh, I lost it. Okay. Never mind. Omernet issues. No, man, everybody picks on my internet, but it's really where I'm at. Soon I'll be back in the normal part of our house where I can get good internet, because back here in this part is where I got to be in the summer. So, hey, Sabuena, how are you? What's up, Xander? And no, I don't have government internet. Regardless of what Gary says, there's no government internet here. Because if there was, I would actually take it, because it couldn't be slower than what I got, and it'd be free. Gary and I were just talking about this not too long ago about shouldn't the price of RVs be super low right now with how everything is? And then there's an article right now, they're like 40% of their deal on, or 40% of their price on Auto Trader. So if you're looking to get an RV, there's huge deals out there on RVs. I don't know if anybody's in a position to buy an RV, but if you are, you've been looking, there's good deals out there. Okay. I got all thrown off getting on here today, and now everything's back up. Okay. Alrighty. We're having some crappy weather here, I guess, but it's kind of nice actually. It's been rainy and a little bit cold. It's nice. It's been really hot here for months, so it's been a nice break, to say the least. Hey, is anybody Sabuena, you're in Florida. Has anybody been affected by hurricane? I was on time.
It's because you started early. Wait, what is on time though? Like the stream is different every week, so like you can't set a time of like I'm on time. You're supposed to be like
it's been 10:15. It was 10:15 today.
Well, I know that's what I'm saying.
You
can't set a time. It's supposed to be the same time every
week.
All
right, you said it. You said it.
All right, we're doing it at 7 a.m. people. 7 a.m.
7 a.m. Eastern is like 5 a.m. for me. That's not happening.
Now, what time did we do it last week?
I think we started early at 10, and that's why Roy was like, "Hey, I'm streaming." And we're like, "Oh, I didn't."
Well, because it was supposed to be, I think it's supposed to be 11 my time is what time we're supposed to start.
Right.
Which is technically 15 minutes late if you do 11:15.
I had it. Well, okay, so fine, 11. So I'll set it for that. This time it was set for 11:50 or 10:15 here, and I started at 10:05.
Oh, did you? I didn't even get an alert.
Wait, no, yes. I'm gonna start early, man. I'm not gonna be late. I got alarms going.
he's got like 19 clocks in his house going off just so he makes the stream on time.
You know that scene from Back to the Future in the start when the alarms go off at the doc's house? Like every wall, every single thing's going off. That's my house Sunday morning.
Yeah, I was productive. Like I got up and took the car down to the car wash, changed out the air filter in it, and made myself breakfast. And
so it was funny. Right before you came on, I was saying that you and I were a couple weeks ago talking about the RV prices, and exactly what we said. Man, there's like some huge deals on RVs right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know who's in a position to buy one, but I was saying if you are, it's right now, you're not gonna get a better deal right now.
The Drivens we're talking about going mobile.
Really?
Yeah, Lisa wants to get a fifth wheel.
Oh, for just travel though.
No. Fully mobile, like up en route, move. Yeah,
really?
That's what. Yeah, they were
like
talking
a traveling band.
Yeah, kind of. But she
got
said
5 kids, dude. How are you going to do a fifth wheel?
I mean, you get one big enough.
5 kids, man.
Yeah.
That's 7 of you.
If you get one that's big enough, why not?
Right. You need like a 3-story. You need 2 double-decker buses.
Well, a tour bus would work great for them. Actually, a tour bus would work out.
Yeah, tour bus would be good.
Yeah.
Except for tour buses really aren't equipped to live in. They just have great living spaces in one room in the back.
Well, I mean, Tony's going to be the one always driving, so he don't need anywhere to sleep.
Right, but I mean, you got nowhere to be. You got one room in the back, and then you got like some sweet beds. That's what the tour buses are.
I mean, truthfully, like right now, like if you have no kids or anything, right now is a good time to buy an RV that's drivable and then pull your car behind it. And then, especially if you do gig work, because you could just like, it's going to snow. Let's go to Florida. Oh, hurricane's coming. Let's go to wherever the hurricane's not. You can just go wherever.
Actually, what was I just watching that's been out since like the pandemic? I think I was like, I'm getting ready to cancel Apple TV. Just because my free term is up, and I it has nothing.
It has nothing. It is the worst. Like, yeah, I had 3 months of that free too. Like, there is nothing. Like, they're worse than Netflix.
Dude, seriously, and they even make stuff, and the stuff they've made is just, I just can't get it. I'm like, what is going on here? Like, I watched some of them, they have big names and stuff. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, I watched. I've watched one thing on there, and it was a dang, I can't think of his name now. I'm gonna have to look it up.
I did watch. I will say that I watched something I thought was gonna be super stupid with Russell Crowe and Zac Efron that came out, called The Greatest Beer Run Ever. It's new, and it was really good, man.
Oh, was that? Yeah, I seen that. I think it's on another one of my streaming platforms too. But I think it's Tom Hanks did a movie for Apple TV.
That's the one I just watched, Finch. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. That's the one I watched. Yeah.
Where he kind of, he avoids the weather.
Right. Yeah.
But you know what? Finch was like a robot.
Movie.
Yeah, but you know what bothered me about it was that Finch just seemed exactly like Castaway.
Except for with a robot
instead of Wilson the ball. Take away the ocean, replace it with dirt and sand, and you have Finch.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's trying to get away and get good, and yeah, I just watched that the other day. I'm trying to get in anything I can, so I actually have had a little bit of luck. That was okay, and the other one was really good because I expected it to be like an Apple movie and suck.
The beer run one.
Yeah, but it was really, I mean, because its name is throwing too.
Yeah, like
because it starts off a bit
on the stream.
Starts off a bit comedy, and the veteran bartender behind, he's only in a couple scenes, like one in the beginning kind of ish, and one in the end, who's served in World War II, is Bill Murray too. And I love Bill Murray, so that was really cool. He was just kind of random in there too, and it's Russell Crowe, and it starts off like comedy, and it gets into, obviously, over in the Vietnam part, it's still like comedy drama, like drom-com or com-drum or whatever they call it. But I liked it, man. It was I was duly impressed. I did not expect much. I thought I'd have it on in the background, and I found myself actually like watching it.
Crispy wants to know why do you have Curry but not him?
Because I am awesome. You need awesome lessons. Look at his next comment, dude. He obviously needs awesome lessons.
Yeah, 8
What's wrong with you, man?
Crazy.
Gary can jump in here better than I can and tell you this is craziness. Don't do this. I mean, if it happens, it happens, but don't make it a goal. Because I guarantee you that'll be the scariest, saddest goal you've ever accomplished. You'll be like, where'd my life go? These 8 kids came through like a truck and ate all my money. And oh, man. Yeah, I was just peeping through the news. It's really weird, man. I always do this before we do this, and there's always some good stuff, and there's nothing in here today. Nothing. Like there's a couple things I saw something relating to another the next hurricane, but I still want to get the assessed damage of this one.
Well, as far as in Florida, like I talk to people all over the state.
It's mainly Fort Myers, like, right?
It's mainly parts of Fort Myers, not all of Fort Myers, but parts of it. Like I got one guy.
But Fort Myers, before you go on, is the Atlantic side, right? Or is it the Gulf side?
Gulf side.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me see. He told me, where's his thing at? I don't know which phone it's on. Oh, right here. He told me all the areas around him were destroyed. They had no cell phone service. So like I guess everybody's trying to use their cell phones all at once, and towers are down. So like it's hit or miss whether you could get on. And he was out of power. And then I got an email today from FPL, which is Florida Power and Light. Which phone's that on? I think that might be on my other phone. And they gave me an assessment of timeline for power to be back. somewhere.
They're like November.
No, it was okay right here. Florida Power and Light. Of course, the East Side, Brevard, and whatnot. They're essentially restored. Um, Northern Manatee, Flagler, Seminole counties up there. About 95% will be restored by Tuesday. Southern Manatee, it'll be 95% will be restored by Wednesday. And then everything else is going to be by next Sunday.
Yeah, Cebuena put Fort Myers, Naples,
Yeah.
and what is that? Punta Gorda.
Yep.
Did I say that right?
Yep.
Those are all Naples. Is Naples Gulf side too?
Yeah, everything bad that happened was on the Gulf side.
Right, but I was just wondering if like anything happened as it crossed.
You mean Orlando and whatnot? No, I mean lots of wind. I mean some flooding in areas, of course. Like some parts of Florida just suck at drainage, and so. But other than that, I don't think anything horrific.
Right.
Not like I've seen on the Gulf side.
Okay, so Crispy, this is for you. I want to show you this. I haven't touched it yet because I didn't want to go into it and mess this number up. So I'll show you. You know the badge alerts on your text? Can you read how many are there?
93.
93. Now watch this. This is from 10 p.m. last night. If I go into it, it's just
Curry.
Oops, wait. It's just Curry. I have 93 offers since 10 p.m. last night on Saturday to 10:30 a.m. 12 hours. 93 offers. Now some of them are obviously going to duplicate, but there's a perfect example. Gary has his on. There's a difference in market right there. Gary has 0. I have 93.
Yeah, the one I did. And
actually, Gary and I drive the same size vehicle too. I think pretty much.
No, I don't have my SUV anymore. But the wife has the SUV.
Okay,
I'm in my car
because I have a RAV4, so it's not a big SUV at all, but it's an SUV.
But yeah, the one Curry I did get, I got free money from. So
yeah, $20 for 0 miles. I'll take those all day. And to not leave your house, I'll take those all day, dude. Give me those. Those are better than the ones I get, where you just get to sit at home and call it in. Can I get my $20? Yeah. Sorry about that. Sorry to disturb you, Mr. Middleton. No problem.
Hey, you know what?
Keep them coming.
Yeah, my roadside did that to me as well. Like a roadside offer popped up on my app, and I declined it because of the distance. And then about 10 minutes later, they call me and they're like, "Hey, we're canceling out that order that we sent you, and we're going to go ahead and give you compensation for it since the 10 minutes has passed." And before I could even get it out of my mouth that, well, I'm not even on an active dispatch, they hung up on me and then credited me $15 for doing nothing. Wasn't even, I declined it. So
okay, I'm sending this one to myself. There are some good ones in here that are still up for grabs even. Interesting. They always put 11 pounds. Like items are always 11 pounds. And I'm like, I don't buy it, man. It just means it's over 10. That's really what it means. I think they're like 13, 14.
Every offer that they send me always says it's a high cargo van offer. And so that's why I have to call and ask.
Right. They've gotten really good in my area with telling the clients that you have to put in stuff. And in fact, they might even be using a forced field now. I don't know.
I know. I gotta go do a roadie. I gotta try and do a roadie.
They just don't pay good though.
Well, I had one the other day that was paying. Lisa, do you remember what I was paying? It was like $27 or something, and it wasn't bad mileage either. It just I was busy doing other stuff.
Oops.
There's nothing on roadie right now, but I've never done a roadie, like ever. So I need to do one just to see how it is.
I'm gonna see if I can bring this up. Okay, let's see.
Hey, on a different note though, did you know that Apple cards they don't
Who would
have
take this?
numbers? Let me see, where's it
Would
going?
you take this?
Yeah, 20 miles, $92. Oh,
Look at
that's
the
a lot
weight.
of items. That's a lot of items.
I would take it all day. Just FYI to people.
I mean, yeah, in an SUV, I would. I mean, you're
Mhm.
talking.
I mean, the weight. I'm just saying to people, the weight doesn't throw me. And often, like a lot of times, whoever is there to unload, like just doesn't have it. Even if they're like smaller, and I should say yes, you're supposed to do it. I don't care. Like I don't mind doing it. Usually if somebody's confused, I'll do it better than them anyway. So I just find like I'll find like a cart or something, and I'll just
Well,
unload
I
it to
mean,
the cart and
no,
move it
I
for
mean,
them. And
even the weight's not bad depending on how you can distribute it. Because I mean, that's
right,
like having two people in your car.
right. But I mean, if you're having to, most likely you're going to be reaching over, you're going to be putting it all back across the SUV too. So it's going to be more about pulling it out and stuff.
Well, I mean,
But
that's why
I
you
don't mind it,
open
man.
the side doors,
To
pull it
me, I
out.
don't mind it because that pay is good enough. I don't
Yeah,
care that there's an extra 5-10 minutes at one end.
yeah, that's what I say. Like $92. I guarantee you, 20 miles. You're probably going to complete that within 2 hours easily.
No, dude, it's 19 miles. I mean, from
Well, well, I'm
if I
saying
when I get to the
loading,
pickup,
unloading, everything. I'm saying everything. Worst case scenario is going to take you 2 hours. Worst case. Worst
right.
case.
So this is a scheduled pickup for 7 a.m. So if I take this is be there at 7 a.m. Now, that's about 15 minutes from my house. That's down where the Drivens live, where it's starting in Parker.
Right.
And then it's to Castle Rock, 19 miles, leaving me about 20 minutes from home on both end. And the 19 miles, so it's going to be like around 35 miles probably for me to do that. 40 miles total from
So still,
home
yeah,
to back
$2,
home.
$2 a mile, over $2 a mile.
Yeah.
And that's what I said.
But
And it's
that's
going to
figuring
take
in
you.
miles that most people wouldn't too, like what I just did from to Parker and back from Castle Rock. Most people don't even equate that.
And like I said, though, over $2 a mile is going to take you less than 2 hours, guaranteed.
Oh man, no,
You know,
this is a no-brainer. This
yeah.
would take me an hour. Pick up. I mean, from the point of being in Parker, this would take me 1 hour to have it unloaded in Castle Rock. No brainer. So to me, I'll take those all day long. And then hopefully they just cancel it like they did on Gary and just send me 20 instead for doing nothing.
20 if we're not doing nothing.
Well, actually, no, that's
0.
not what I actually prefer.
No, I mean, like, I don't mind doing it. Like, the one I was gonna, the only reason why the one I was gonna do was pretty good is because the payout was like 20, 26, 27, something like that. Okay. And I only took it because it was from where I was already at going towards my house. So I was like, well, I can do that and then end my day with it. And so it like worked out even better because then I didn't have to do it. And then still got $20. And then I got food delivery that took me over there. Yeah, I don't know what they're talking
about. John, I believe, is also or he's not. He's a trucker as well, though. He's not. Sean's in here too, which is weird. Sean, I don't know if you know Sean, right?
No.
He's been on he's been on with you even once.
On the radio show?
Yeah, but we had him this week on the radio show. We were watching sunset through his truck.
Oh yeah. I seen that on there.
So I don't know. I thought that was really cool, man. Thank you, Sean, for that. That was awesome. I really enjoyed watching it because it went all the way to darkness too. If everybody was watching, it was just pretty cool. But what's up, John? Yeah, if you want to jump on for a few, just don't kill us. It's Sunday morning. Don't be you can't take us down labor corridor. But I'd love an update. I'd like to know what's going on. Not a trucker, just I knew you were 1099. You've been on before, John. I think you came on once. I know you've been at all the times I've had Mike on. You might have been around when I had Kim on a few times. Maybe even Karen Anderson. all fight for independent contractorship, AB5, down with AB5, repeal AB5.
Because AB5 is the best.
Man, you know what? I tell everybody, like, I really don't have much more to say, and I forget that I can refer people to the Karen Anderson video I did. It's a great video. If you want to know about what AB5 really did, I don't need to refer you to a ton of the other ones I've done. Just watch that single one. That one will tell you everything. Just like it's like the after effect of a hurricane, like after the fact when they can tell you the whole story. Here's the whole story of AB5, what it's done. Is the Karen Anderson video I did. So if you go look that up, there it is. You want to know the truth about it? There it is.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, just go watch his other video about it.
Yeah, because I can't do a better job talking about it. And in fact, if you're watching it in the live show notes, every time you hear us talking about it, like when Karen says, well, go ahead and put that blog roll up, that's her sharing all of her information. So the sources I have were all shared in that video. So they're all in the live chat as we're talking about it. So I would suggest to leave the live chat open. There was a lot of good comments, lots of great links shared. And especially if you live in California and you're a freelancer, if you're not involved with those people yet with Karen Anderson's group, you should be. If you were affected by AB5, you should be. They are basically about 80% freelance writers and attorneys who donate their time. So they're willing to like go to town on the state right now. So even if you're a musician that didn't get a carve out for your genre, if you're a nonprofit that didn't get a carve out, she's her group is called Freelancers Against AB5 on Facebook. It's about 30,000 strong. And that's like professionals though. So if you get in there, they will help you. And a lot of them are attorneys too. They'll write letters for you. They'll do anything.
Anything for money, like Steve. He'll do anything.
No. Wait, let me clarify it. Not like Steve. They'll do anything for free, though. Like to help you with the AB5 fight. If you need a letter written, they'll write it for you for free. If you come in and they find that you're not carved out, they will help you.
Yeah, they probably got templates made up by now, and
that's what I mean. But I mean, you'll also have somebody help talk you through like what to do exactly and how to really punch back in a good way. Not all of us know how to. I mean, I'll be honest, guys. I don't know how to do that stuff until somebody walks me through it. I mean, I can figure it out, but I might not be at the right place or be sending the. Yeah. I don't know why she's calling me Lisa called me one of a kind, but I don't know what made me say it. Or made you say it.
Because you'll do anything for money.
I didn't say I'd do anything for money. I said they're not like me. That. Oh yeah, I guess I kind of. And I implied it. Yeah. So there's another. So would you do? Okay, this one's weird. 8 pounds, 53 miles, $100.35.
What did you say? 8 pounds, $135 for how many miles?
No, 53 miles for $100.35.
Yeah, I mean,
106 round trip.
If I had nothing, well, no, I'd probably still do that. That's still over $1 a mile. I mean, and I would see.
I'm telling you, if I was having a slow day, I would do this too because I don't mind the 100 miles either.
Right. If I was having a really slow day, yeah. I mean, I don't mind the 100 miles per se, and it depends on the time of day too. If it's like early morning or late afternoon, definitely. Babe, the car.
This one's 8 a.m. sharp.
8 a.m. Yeah, that's not too bad. I don't do much that early morning.
Yeah. But guys, it's not Uber Connect, man. You're not taking drugs. Or are you?
You could be. You never know.
I don't know, dude. I've told you this too. I feel pretty good rolling up to a plumbing supply or a Sherman-Williams I feel pretty good. I feel better than a dude handing me a plastic bag from hotel to hotel at 1 a.m.
Well, that's what I said. Like mine's packaging. Like if you're gonna send me with drugs, at least make it look like a Christmas present or something. Come on.
Yeah. And all you people using the Uber Connect for the evil reasons, like go buy a Sherman Williams paint can or go find one in an alley.
You don't even have to do that. Just go buy birthday wrapping paper and put it in a box and wrap it.
Yeah, but dude, that would look
Like
nobody would open paint. Nobody's gonna
open a birthday present either. Like, okay, you gonna open a birthday present, Steve? Seriously?
No, I'm not. But there's some shady drivers who might just be quitting and go, you know what? Might be something good in there.
Well, there might be something good. That's the point. If they're quitting, who cares?
That'd be a problem though. If you were like, screw this, I'm quitting, and you open that package and it's like 2 pounds of cocaine, you're dead. You better go find that same wrapping paper, get it wrapped back up, and get it to where it's going real quick.
I think you just need to get it to where it's going. I don't think the people would care, but I mean, like, you're not even dead, like, really, because let's think about it. How are they going to track you down? I mean, like,
on the app watching you drive.
No, but once you cancel the order, once you cancel it, it's gone. Happy birthday, Rodney.
Happy birthday. Happy early
birthday. Yeah. But I mean, like, just think about that though. Like, once you cancel it, they can no longer track you on the phone. So unless they have a tracker in a package, which you're going to throw out because you opened the box anyways, now you got 2 pounds of cocaine.
Right.
I don't know what you're going to do with it, but I'm sure.
My guess is you took it from people who aren't just going to go.
But that's what I'm saying. How are they going to track you down, though? I mean, like, they don't know your first and last name.
Dude, for all I know, man, like, yeah, they let the Uber Connect people drive it, but they put one of their guys tailing him.
They might.
I mean, it's like, yeah, I don't want to take the risk, so I'll pay for him to do it. I'll just drive behind him and kill him if he tries to open it.
Tries to steal it.
I mean, why wouldn't you? If if you're a person looking to not do the actual transportation, I would actually, like, dude, I mean, like, if I'm a drug dealer and I have 2 pounds of cocaine and I'm sending it with an Uber driver for $22, I'm going to tail him. I'm just saying. I mean, these are good examples for those of you who do Uber Connect.
You've thought this out a little bit.
Well, what's been really bothering me is how I know that there's so many different ways it could play out, but it was bothering me how you're responsible for it.
But you're not responsible. We went over this already.
I know, but you are, dude.
You're not. I mean, as long as it's not openly in your, like, as long as you don't have 2 kilos of cocaine sitting there, like if you got a box and you got a weigh bill, they're not going to do anything to you. Like, you might get harassed or whatever and things like that. They might ask you a whole bunch of questions, but really at the end of the day, it's going to fall back on Uber and the pickup location. Do you want me to share the link for him?
Yeah, go ahead. Okay. That's what I was just going to do. You guys get to watch some trucking.
I mean, because it's kind of like I looked it up, and like FedEx, UPS, all them, none of them scan the packages either. So you can easily send it through them same day shipping.
Yeah.
Even overnight, like we should see what all we can get away with shipping.
This is like call it into the police and just like have it be like the Ricky Bobby scenario with the Fruit Loops or whatever. Just wanted you to know you can go fast. Tape it to the bottom of Crispy's car. Crispy, there's some cops come and go. Hey, what's up, Sean? How are you?
Hey, guys. I understand what you're talking about now. I didn't realize that Uber drivers, hauled things to point A to point B. I can give you an idea because I have experience in this, getting loads from the Mexican border, and, I don't bring them in, but I pick them up at the Mexican border. But I could still be searched, even though I'm still here in the States. Now, this is how it goes. 10 years ago, I was picking up a load out of Master and Artie, is the name of the place. Typically, they mostly do produce. Um, Now, a lot of trucking companies do this. They take our trailer, some Mexican driver takes it across the border, they get it loaded, and then they bring it back into our yard, and then they go back to their point of origin or whatever else they're doing. We pick it up from our yard right by the border there, or whoever's yard we're renting or whatever, and we take the load wherever its destination is. Now, a lot of times we pick up, or the trailer is already sealed, loaded and sealed and waiting for you. You drop your empty, then you latch up to this one, go get the paperwork, and then you take off. Now, if you're picking up a loaded trailer as a driver and you get pulled over by state and they open those doors, which they did to me, and they found 15 illegal Mexicans inside. I'm like, I picked up, they still detained me, but I said, I picked up a sealed trailer from Master and Arnie. There could be anything on it. I got to go by what's on the manifest. I can't open that because it's sealed.
So sealed are like
And they're
those little metal
Yes.
tags that go through.
Yeah, on the back. They put them on the back, and they
and they're numbered and whatnot.
yeah, so that way they're not tampered with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so they know that if the door's been open.
You can't tamper with those, right?
No, you.
Oh,
could,
no.
You could, like when they, what those numbers should match what's on your way bill. So that way they know that whenever they open it, they match it to your way bill, and those two numbers should match. So if it's been changed or tampered with, the one that's on the trailer will not match the way bill.
Okay.
Yeah, now they still detain me, but until they get through the investigation, which could take a couple of hours. They're like, okay, you've got this sealed trailer, because they look at the paperwork where I got the load from. They contact Master and Arnie. They contact who loaded this trailer and who sealed it.
My
And
guess
usually-
is they run background on you too. So to
Yeah.
other truck drivers who might have some iffy backgrounds or people doing this kind of stuff, just know that probably happens during this process. You're probably
They do. They put you in a little. They put you in a little tent there. Well, depending on where they stop you.
So
If they'll
again, my
stop you
point
at
being
on
that
the side.
Sean here was completely nothing to do with it, yet he's still detained.
Right.
Yeah,
I
he-
didn't
so
say
they
he
find
was
out.
No,
Yeah,
not you. I'm
he's
just
not-
pointing it out to anybody.
But he's not
Yeah.
in trouble.
Right.
Yeah, they
but-
investigated and they
Right.
found out who sealed the trailer, and then they questioned him. It resides on who sealed the trailer, and they're like,
Yep.
"Well, these are the guys that loaded it, and I sealed it." We're like, "Well, when you sealed it, didn't you notice there were 15 individuals in the back of this trailer?" So it rests on his head,
Right.
and it goes along with drugs too.
Yeah, I whenever I first started truck driving, I used to do a dedicated run from Oklahoma City down to Eagle Pass, Texas, and back. And it was the same thing. Every time we went through Border Patrol, they would pull me over. They want to search the whole truck and everything like that, And and I had a co-driver at the time, and he was Mexican, of course. And like he made a bad joke one time and ended up in like a 4.5-hour delay. Because like he started speaking Spanish from the sleeper, and they're like, "Who's back there?" I'm like, "My co-driver." He goes, "No, I'm illegal." Yeah, that was not the thing to say.
Unless you know who they are. Like I was doing dedicated for a while between El Paso to California, Southern Cal, and back and forth. I got to know who the Border Patrol people are there on I-10. Yeah, it's closed off. You pull up. Are you an American citizen? Well, they got to know who I am because I got a one-of-a-kind truck. It's instantly noticed. They got to know who I was, and I had trained a student that was from Atria. He spoke 12 languages. Very interesting individual. And I've always wanted a keffiyeh because I wanted to act like Iron Sheik from the old WWF wrestling. And he got me an authentic one, and I was like, "Oh, cool!" I put it on, and I started playing his theme music. One day we were pulling through there, and I had it on, and I went ahead and turned my radio up, and I had my phone linked to my radio, and I was playing Call to Prayer. I pulled up. They knew the new guy didn't know who I was. He was like, "Are you American citizen?" I'm like, "Oh, yes." He goes, "Are you Muslim?" I'm like, "No, I'm Catholic." I'm like, "Oh, I turned the radio down, pulled the keffiyeh off," and he looked at me, and the sergeant there, Steve, he goes, "Is that Sean? Tell him to get out of here." He's screwing around. They told the new guy who I was.
Sergio, I've never hauled Uber Freight, so I can't say anything
I think
about it.
I think he wanted to know. So Sean, I don't know. I don't think because I don't think any of the times I've had you on, I've asked this. So have you ever done Uber Freight, or if you haven't, what do you think of it?
Uber Freight. I have hauled to Amazon, if that's Uber Freight, I guess.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. Uber Freight's kind of like an app, like the Uber
I'm not
app
even really
for
sure
truck
how. I mean,
drivers.
it was, but how available is Uber Freight now? It's more testing, isn't it, than anything?
What do you mean? No, it still runs.
No, I know it still
Uber,
does. But...
Uber Freight's just another brokerage. That's all they are. They're just another brokerage.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
the workers
would be cheaper, right, and crappier.
Yeah. So Amazon's got a big warehouse there in southern Indianapolis, Indiana, and I delivered there a couple times. And they have a lot of Mexicans that work there, and a lot of other people too. But when I was backing in, they loved me there because I was like, "Hey, tell Jeffrey Bezos to get his billionaire ass out here and unload my truck." They all looked at me with big eyes, you know. I don't work for him.
Because they were like, this guy doesn't even know his last name. Oh, we're not gonna bot. No.
Yeah, Uber Freight though, Sean, it's kind of like a combination of a load board and a brokerage all in one.
Oh, okay.
That's
I'm sure there's probably some owner ops that do, but not me.
Yeah, I was gonna say though, if you're an owner op though, it doesn't really hurt to sign up for it. Because if you're going to deadhead to an area anyways, you might be able to find a quick load to take you to that area from Uber Freight.
Yeah, we'd like to know what you see too.
Yeah.
You know,
what do you mean? What I see?
Because we don't get a lot of feedback on the Uber Freight app.
Uber Freight. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to know what you see because you have to have a truck to be able to even register for it. You know, it's
If I ever do, I'll let y'all know.
I mean, Sergio's saying it's Uber X for trucking.
I'm signed under a carrier.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you're not a 100% independent then.
I'm an owner op. Right. All that means is I can only haul their freight.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You're independent, but you're not independent because you're tied to one company.
Yeah. I mean, I could leave tomorrow. I could tell them, because after this load, I'm going home. I could tell them I'm done. I'm going to another company. Well, that terminates my contract, and I have to scrape the DOT number off the side of my sleeper and go work for somebody else. But you don't want to be fully fledged owner op unless you got a good niche, which is very rare. You want to sign under a carrier, and here's why. All that means is you just can only haul their freight, which is not a big deal. I got plenty of good freight. You want that because you get a fleet discount at the pump.
Yep.
Instead of paying full price. That's why a lot of owner ops lost their ass when the fuel prices went up, and they were majorly complaining about it.
Couldn't owner ops form co-ops to become a fleet, but still own theirs completely independent of the co-op?
Yeah, they can. And I'm an advocate for co-ops, big time.
So, I mean, I would think if you live in Illinois, 5 other truckers, there you go. There's your co-op. You got a fleet. Okay, we get fleet discount.
I was waiting for somebody to mention it, and I was like, all right, now I'm with the people I need to talk to. I love worker co-op. I grew up.
It makes sense.
Yeah, I grew up. My dad was a Teamster truck driver, and he's always been about the working man. And he never liked any politics out of D.C. He says it's both ends being played against the middle, and we're the middle.
Right. That's kind of my point with the unions. I mean, wherever I might differ from people, I don't like unions, but a co-op where the drivers are the owners, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, unions in its day were great, but it got bad.
Yeah. No, I've said that too. I'm from Michigan, born and raised. My whole family's from Michigan. So I know that a lot of my family who was auto plant workers in Detroit, they went through good unions. Or at the time,
Detroit?
What helped them? I'm from Lansing, but a lot of my family's from Detroit. So.
Oh, I go up to Michigan all the time. I got cousins that still live there. I remember when I was 8 years old, my aunts and uncles were put out of work there in Flint. Yeah. They closed the plants down and everything, and they came and lived with us. And that was great because I got to hang out with my cousins, and I remember that well. And it was during Christmas. And I remember my uncle sitting there telling us the stories about how poor they used to be. Because yeah, I remember during Christmas, I saw a cockroach whip out a switchblade on a rat and take his cheese.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
Crispy, what's going on? John just joined us as well.
What's up, guys? What's up? How y'all doing?
Hello.
Hey, what's up, guys?
yeah, but
Yeah, we have family. Our family has about 40 acres of a hunting cabin just about 30 miles south of Traverse City, and about
oh yeah,
about 10 miles inland from Manistee. Right there at the top of the Manistee National Forest. And it's the town's called Caliva,
Lost John.
and it's when I was growing up, it was about 1,000 people, and about 999 of them were from Finland.
oh wow. Did you ever go to?
Which is where my family's from? So it's a Finnish community in northern Michigan. I know
Did
it's
you ever
grown
go-
to about 3,000. I don't know what the Finnish population is anymore,
Yeah.
but
Did you ever go to Sandy Pines?
you mean the dunes?
It was called Sandy Pines. My aunt and uncles used to take us there, during during the summer. It was a camping area that had boating and canoeing and all that.
Yeah. Sandy Pines is where the Great Sand Dunes are.
Hmm.
Up
It's
in
been years since I've been there, though.
Up in the pinky of the mitten on Lake Michigan, right?
I believe so. Yeah, it was years when I was real little when we go there, because we would either go there or we went to the Dells, on the reservation, because two of my grandparents were Chippewa.
Yeah, I mean, for people who have never been to Michigan and just think it's just another state up there, it's one of the most amazing states in the country, for real.
My favorite town's Cadillac. That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's where. Okay, so Caliva is about 30 minutes from Cadillac.
It is nice.
Yeah, that's where
It's
we
real
built
nice.
That's where our family's cabin is, our hunting cabin that my grandfather built after World War II.
But what's weird about Michigan is they always got relation that lived in Chicago. Everybody in Chicago said, "Yeah, I'm related to somebody in Michigan."
Yeah, I was back and forth between the two all the time too. Family, friends, yeah. Because when people do leave Michigan if they want to go to a big city and don't want to be in Detroit anymore or whatever, usually that's where they go. They go to Chicago. They don't make big moves. They go to Chicago. Because it's 3.5 hours away. So.
But I remember when Michigan totally was destroyed in the late 70s, early 80s. When they all started losing their jobs and everything. It was ridiculous.
And then Barry Sanders left, and the Lions haven't won nothing since. And, I mean,
Yeah,
the Tigers are in trouble.
Yeah, but see, he had no blocking. Emmett Smith had blocking. That's why Emmett Smith got the yardage he got. Barry Sanders is by far the best.
I often say, what would Barry have done elsewhere?
Oh yeah, he would have been a god.
I'm a true and blue Michigan to the T. I am not a Wolverine fan. Y'all can suck it. I'm a Michigan State Spartan.
He would have beat Walter Payton Drucker.
That's a bigger deal to me than the professional teams right there. Because in Michigan we have two. Before it was the Big 50 and the Big 11 and Nebraska. When it was the Big 10, we were the only state with two Big 10 schools, and they were both Big 10.
Hold on, you're missing Illinois with Northwestern.
Yeah,
Northwestern and what?
And Illinois.
But Illinois wasn't in the original Big 10.
How far back are you going there?
To the Big 10 when it was 10.
No,
it was just 10.
It went from 10 to 11 when Penn State came in the early 90s.
Right,
so
and then it went to Nebraska,
Northwestern, and Illinois,
and Nebraska.
Nebraska came in even after that.
Yeah, I don't even know how many teams are in the Big 10.
I think they're 14 now, but Northwestern's always been in the Big 10 with Illinois.
Right, Northwestern.
Michigan and Michigan State. So
I got to tell you, I loved Barry Sanders, and I was always hoping he'd come to Chicago because they wouldn't build around him, because I saw him as Walter Payton reincarnated.
I got to tell you guys this funny story. There was one year where people had, if you don't know the story around when Barry Sanders was with the Lions, they were struggling a lot anyway. We all know that, but Barry was amazing. But the coach was Wayne Fonts at the time. Yeah. And this AM radio station offered $1,000 to anybody that could show Wayne Fonts tied up on the hood of their car. And he had like all this at the time. You weren't traveling with tons of security. This is the 80s. and it was what it was. And he actually had a couple of different attacks that day that he had to like kind of fight off without having like some huge entourage, because at the time a coach of even the Lions didn't. And so it was like it was a big ordeal, and the radio station got shut down for 2 days. The DJ got arrested who put it out there, as that he had put a bounty on his head. Because in Detroit, I mean, people had it with him. At the time when he did this couldn't have been the worst time. It was when everybody's like, geez, what's up with this Wayne Fonts guy? Let's just end him.
But I do believe Barry retired too early. He had a lot more years he could have won.
Yeah, but he was taking a beating out there every time after time. He was aging quicker than most running backs, I think, because
he had no blocking. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, he was getting beat up, man. Yeah. I'd probably retire early too. Like, man, I'm just getting my.
See, Emmett Smith got an education when he went to Arizona, and he left halfway during the season because he kept getting busted behind the backfield. He learned without that blocking, he was nothing.
But Emmett got to go to Dallas, and at the time, Dallas was. I mean, they still are legacy, but
Well, they had to go to offensive
it's like the Red
line.
Wings. The Red Wings can have 15 bad years in a row. They are still a legacy team. No matter where you go in the country, Red Wings fans are more prominent than any other hockey team, even
That's
the Canadian
ones. Called the dead thing. So
yeah, but you had the best Red Wing team was in the '90s when you had Shanahan.
Oh yeah,
with,
Steve Yzerman. Yzerman to this day, I still, not only in hockey, guys, I will say this: Yzerman to this day is my hero in terms of sportsmanship.
Oh yeah, but I like
not
Bob
even,
Probert.
Not
though.
even sports. I'm just talking sportsmanship. That guy has always handled things like in the most responsible, chill way. Even like at times when you're just like, especially hockey, you're losing it. Like, dude, kill him. Like, I guess that's why they had Probert. Probert, go get him.
But
I mean, Probert might as well not even had a stick.
I would have. Well, he scored goals, but there are two enforcers that I really like.
Probert. It was if you put Stevie Y into the boards, Probert was going to be on you that night.
Oh yeah, but there's two enforcers I never get to see go against each other, and I'd like to have seen how that turned out. They were my favorite enforcers. Bob Probert was one. I remember he hit what's his name, Lindros, and his helmet flew off, and I thought Lindros' head was still in it. Bob Probert can hit hard. But I always
Bob Probert is him and Marty McSorley. Man, did they have some blowouts?
Oh yeah,
I've seen him. I saw him do things that I thought were going to explode McSorley's head, for real.
But those two damn near kill each other.
Yeah, and Bob Probert would crash his motorcycle like 6 times a year in Detroit and wrap it around a street pole and get caught with cocaine. And he was a story, man.
I didn't know it was like that. I'd like to have seen him go against my favorite, Derek Bugard, the Boogeyman.
Mm-hmm.
That guy destroyed people when he played.
Yeah,
they were literally afraid of him.
Yeah, I guess there's lots of people to be afraid of.
He was like 6'6" and like 230 pounds. Oh my God, he was just destroying people.
Yeah. Yeah, there's I think it's still one of the longest hockey fights of all times was McSorley when he was with
Probert,
and Probert. And I mean, like all of McSorley's clothes, they don't just come off like in ways that they often did. It's like they're being shredded off by Probert, literally just ripped in half until he has him down to nothing. And it's instead of being able to grab and pull the shirt over and just feed him, he's just holding him by the neck and feeding him. And every time the ref steps in, he just throws an elbow into the ref's face.
Sometimes they went over 5 minutes.
Like, whoa, dude. Yeah,
it went well over 5 minutes.
Yeah, every time McSorley went down, Probert picked him back up by his throat and started feeding him more. And I was like, dude, this is where all the refs need to squat over and jump on McSorley to save his life. Like that's pure anger when you like won't let him hit the ice so the fight ends and you pull him back up by his neck, not even his shirt because it's off. I mean, that's wanting to kill the guy.
Yeah, I've been in many a hockey game where the fights ended up in the stands. That's how bad it got.
Again, talking about Detroit, we got the Pistons too, man. Go to Pistons games in the 80s.
Oh yeah, Malice at the Palace.
Yeah.
Ooh, the Malice at the Palace. Everybody talks about it.
And that was on fans.
Yeah, they tore that place down like 10 years ago?
Is the Palace tore down?
Is it
I mean, I know
think
they
they tore it
moved
down.
them out, but I didn't know they tore it down.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
why would you tear it down?
The
They
Pacers
tore
and the
down the
Pistons.
Silver Dome finally about 10 years ago. The old Detroit Lions stadium.
I remember that.
Mhm.
You know, but they when Ford Field was built, but I didn't know that. I know that the Pistons play in Little Caesars Arena downtown now, the same place as the Red Wings play.
Yeah, Ford Field is like a copy and paste of Lucas Oil in Indianapolis. They look damn near identical.
So, Steve, is the Joe Louis no longer around? The Joe Louis Arena?
The actual arena, I think
Yeah.
I think it's there because the Civic Center that I can't think of it right now, that's tied to it right next door.
Okay.
Cobo Hall.
Cobo Hall. There you go. I think because
Yeah,
they're
that's
both
a legendary
still there.
place.
I think they do it more for like older stock shows and things like that. So I don't think it's like the Pride anymore. But I don't know if
There's
they
a
tore
lot
it
of
down.
How many?
I haven't been home in a while.
How many octopi did you throw onto the ice at the old Joe?
Enough.
Enough. Did you get caught?
No.
they don't.
And and I actually did it in front of people too that were probably supposed to catch me. I don't know that they really, maybe they played.
I don't know why they stopped
it. But to be honest, like here's why I loved the Joe. Most people are like, I don't get that place. You walk in, you walk down, it's just the whole thing's loud, it's cold. I'm like the boards. If you get down against the boards in the Joe, those things had more action than anywhere in NHL hockey. No, I mean, because the way that they would move, though, every time it looked like the whole wall was coming down, the entire wall, and then it would bounce back. Like they just had the perfect amount of play. Even the pucks could have play off them.
Mm-hmm. Why did they stop that? Throwing the octopi on the ice. They stopped it years ago. It used to be a tradition.
Well, I mean,
it's still there. They haven't made it in the playoffs that far. That's why they hadn't gotten.
Yeah,
to the conference finals.
that's what I was just gonna say. Get them into the playoffs by into a round 2 and do a game 7. I think at home, I think you'd see some octopi come back out.
Yeah, just like the Florida Panthers, you'd throw rats on the ice. Literally thousands of them flying on the ice.
You already had rats on the ice. No, never mind.
Yeah, but I think they're just reaching under their chairs and going and throwing them because they're like all over the stadium. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Isn't the Florida Panthers is what, Miami?
I think they're Jacksonville, actually.
Didn't they used to be at one point Miami?
Yeah, I think they started in Miami.
Somebody was down in Miami. I think it was the Panthers, because actually I was in Miami working for a laser company when they first came down. I was just about to move out of there. It was their first season, and I remember I went to a Red Wings game, and no joke, you guys, there was they were playing somewhere downtown too, because I lived on the Miami Beach side, but this was downtown across the causeway, and they were playing in a normal size arena. Might have even been the old basketball arena before they built the new one next door. That's all the hype. Right, but so this was, I don't know, it was, let's say it holds 20, 25,000, 30,000, I don't know. There was probably 1,000 people in there, and like 700 or 800 of them had Red Wings gear. So I think there was too many people in Miami who were like, why would we go to hockey?
Well, they retired and go to Florida.
Right, but they stay up in the upper area. Like,
that's where the Lightning, you got the Lightning.
I was going to say,
Cups.
Right, the Tampa Bay Lightning, what did they do when they started their club? Had one rough year, and then they hired Steve Yzerman again. Full circle, guys.
Well, they got 2 cups.
What happened to the Blackhawks when Bowman came here?
Yeah.
Yeah, we won 3 cups.
3 cups. I remember those.
That's my team, is the Blackhawks.
Are y'all based out of Chicago?
Yeah, I was born and raised there.
Okay. No, I still live in the burbs.
Really? I still have a sister that lives in Bourbonnais. And
okay.
they're going to move.
I'm not that far south.
Yeah, they're gonna move the Bears out of Soldier Field into Arlington Heights.
Well, that's
what I heard.
The earliest they can do that is maybe 11 years from now. So we'll see if any of us are still around, let alone the Bears. And yeah, that's the latest plan, but that depends on how much taxpayer involvement they're willing to do. And right now, that's problematic at best. So they still got to fulfill the lease at Soldier Field. Soldier Field with the Chicago Park District.
Yeah, they just rebuilt Soldier Field, but they got good parking for being a downtown city team. They got
Yeah.
McCormick. You park right there. That's where I park to go to Wrigley Field.
That's a haul from Wrigley Field to McCormick
Well,
Place.
Well, I walk through Grant Park and then get on the bus or the L train and ride it to Addison Street. Get off
Okay,
there.
now you're talking Wrigleyville. Okay.
Yeah.
No, we're just we're waiting to see what how that little feud's going to turn out. It's going to time out. Mayor Lightfoot should be out of there by then. She may be out as soon as next year. And
They did their summer camp there at Olivet, right next door to my sister's house.
yeah,
That's how I met the 85 Bears.
that's were they still in Bourbonnais back then? I thought they were in Platteville at that time.
No, they've been in Bourbonnais for years.
I know they went to Wisconsin for a few years when I first moved out here about 30 years ago. So they're still going to Platteville, and yeah, they moved back. Sometime by the late 90s is when they moved back to Bourbonnais for the training camp.
Yeah, you'll have to Google it. But Steve Mongo McMichael has his own restaurant bar type thing. He's there every Sunday for the game, and you can meet him. I've met him a couple of times. He has deteriorated because I think he's got leukemia. He's half the man he used to be, but I still love the man. The 85 Bears
doesn't
right on the
Chelios
line.
have a steakhouse in Chicago too?
Who?
Chelios.
A chili place, yes.
Okay, I didn't remember that one.
Yeah, it's called like Cheli's, I think, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Bears are on the road today, so they're playing in the Giants in the Meadowlands. So, and I don't know what they call their stadium nowadays. It used to be Giant Stadium all the way back when it opened in the 70s.
Yeah. If you ever go to Chicago, I recommend two places. Go to Harry's. That's a great place because that's when I start acting like Harry Carey because he said some of the priceless things. And X-Checkers has the best pizza in the world. It's right there under the L train there, right off of Michigan Avenue.
Yep.
Cool.
Crispy, you got hockey team left you don't have a hockey team left in Texas, do you?
He's muted, and yeah, they got the Stars.
I know, but okay, yeah, Dallas went and
the Houston Aeros.
But Dallas left and came back.
Yeah, they got the Houston Aeros, the AAA team they've had for years.
Yeah, I was talking NHL, but
okay. Well, where in Texas is Crispy?
El Paso, Texas, baby.
Oh, El Paso, old El Paso. My family roots are there.
Oh yeah, this is a nice town, brother.
Are you in the Upper Valley or the Lower Valley?
Lower Valley.
Okay, so yeah, that's where our first family spread was purchased back in the 1860s in what was Isleta.
Oh yeah.
If you're out there by Yarborough.
Oh yeah, I'm by Isleta. Yeah, it's like probably 3 minutes from me. 2 minutes.
Wow, you are there. You must be off of Carolina then.
By Saragossa, I-10 in Saragossa. That's where I'm at.
Okay, oh man, you are near Isleta. Okay, the old Isleta.
Yeah,
I gotta
34 minutes from there.
I gotta tell you, I love going down to the border because once you have real Mexican food, you won't eat a Taco Bell anymore.
Hey, my favorite, maybe Crispy can weigh in here, but my favorite in El Paso is Chico's Tacos. You go there?
Oh yeah. This is a well-known place that a lot of people tend to go to when they come here to El Paso. Chico's Tacos is the place to go to.
It's definitely an institution, and I remember way back in the 70s and the 60s, you had the old Lucky Boy chain. I don't think that's there anymore.
Oh no, they're gone.
Yeah, and the old favorite menudo, especially because it's Sunday, favorite menudo was at a place off of Alameda near Copia called Hamburger Hut. Whenever we come in from Dallas, that's the first place we go.
I think they still have one on downtown, I believe. They still have one.
Wow. Still
is
there,
that
right?
Crispy? If I came to town and I said I can only have one Mexican restaurant, where would you tell me to go?
Ooh, there's this place called Martita's Lunchbox. Probably the best Mexican restaurant here in El Paso. Martita's Lunchbox.
Okay.
Really, really good.
Yeah, Taco Bell is not Mexican in my book.
That's like
Hey,
saying
Nick.
Olive Garden
Hey,
is Italian too. So
Yeah.
El Paso, that's beautiful. Well, listen, how's the
Hey, Jackie.
all of y'all been having in the news? Because unlike the other Texas border cities, El Paso's city council have been sending migrants to New York City. Is that still going on?
Yeah, from what I hear, yeah, we're still getting a bunch of Venezuelans coming in, and there's no space for them in the shelters. So I don't know what the city's doing. You know what? They even got raped on the city. They got mad at the city because they had offered money to the city to help with the migrant crisis that's going on and all that, and the city declined that money. Our
Okay,
city declined that
who's
money.
they? Who offered it?
Dude, I'm not sure. I would have to look it up and try
I'm just
to
curious
find
because
out.
it's either the feds or the state. I know they're not part of Abbott's Operation Lone Star, but no, it's like everybody's all mad at DeSantis and the border governors. But I always tell, hey, you better remember the city of El Paso. They're not part of Abbott's plan, and they are. El Paso's overrun. I think you concur with that.
Yep.
How's Fort Bliss holding out with the shelters there? I heard there were nearly 4,000 there a week ago.
Yeah, everything is just capped out already. Like they're outside literally. There's migrants outside in downtown just chilling there because there's no space for them in the shelters. And like I said, I think it was the feds that offered money.
The
to
feds.
The city. Yeah, and then the city declined it. It was like millions of dollars to help with the migrant crisis, and the city declined it. And now they're shitting on the city for doing that.
Okay. Well, given some of the other things the feds are trying to do, particularly to ICs, why am I not surprised? But El Paso, I know last week on one of the national shows, and I think it's on KTSM down there, I brought up El Paso, and it was a guest host, and folks said, well, that's just local government. No. El Paso is the exception, and the problem is real. I know Gavin Newsom is trying to make political hay against Abbott and DeSantis. Of course, DeSantis has other things he's got to be more concerned about now. But I just say, look, no, the city of El Paso, their mayor, their city council, they are approving sending migrants to New York City. Now, they've only sent them to New York, and I explained to these guys, and fortunately had a caller from El Paso call in and basically verified everything I said, and as you just verified it too. So one thing I'm going to try to do, I'm probably going to get an article out of one of my publications this week is, this is what's unique about El Paso. And the biggest thing is it's the local government and the city council that is approving these buses. And you guys,
what
DeSantis got to get out.
did falls.
Just so everybody knows, this
It falls under the trafficking laws. No, not at all.
It's political times. I get it, but this is not political. We have people who sit on all sides of the fence and are good people on this. So, no way are we telling anybody what to be or what's wrong, what's right.
No, Stephen, that's what I was trying to give to the show last week, and saying, take the governors out of it. Just take them out. Focus on what a local government, nonpartisan, is having to do, just because of the fact that the city's overrun. That's all. Take it with that perspective, and this isn't a Democrat-Republican thing at all. This is a human thing.
Right, but even when you do
exactly. That's what I've been trying to do.
But you still have them feeling under threat. So even if you gave them that power, they'd still feel like, you know what, we're still going to get backlash for this. I don't care if you're saying we're free and clear of the governors. I feel like, they feel too under the thumb of the governor, regardless. Even if you.
But they don't see them as human beings. That's the problem. They don't see them as human beings. I'm like, I've seen these people. They're human beings too, just like us.
And
my Christian ancestry.
Well, Steve, what I find out. Go ahead, Sean. You're fading in and out. That's what's going on.
Oh, I'm sorry. But what I'm saying is, my Christian ancestry will not allow me to turn my back on these people. I have to. If someone's hungry, I'm going to help them get something to eat.
Yeah.
I'm not a Christian, but that one thing I won't. If I see someone hungry, I'll buy them something to eat.
Yeah.
Amen.
I'm kind of like you though. I live downtown Denver. You guys have all traveled the country a lot. Probably familiar with Colfax. I live a couple blocks off it, right near the Aurora downtown Denver, kind of where it meets. And so on Colfax, I gotta be a little careful. I'll go in and buy you some food, but 90% of the people turn away when I offer that. They just want the money, and it's for the wrong reason.
Oh yeah.
That's I hear you, and I guess when you shine the light of truth, people will, Lord willing, see the path. I mean, there's folks out there who don't know the fact that because Venezuela, there is no deportation to Venezuela. We don't have relations with them, and you just can't send the migrants back to Mexico. They have to go through the due process of asylum. And I don't care what side of the due process is due process.
Right.
Yes. But it's like, say someone comes from Europe, right? If they got a passport, hey, you can come in. Anybody else from like Mexico or in South America or in Southeast Asia, they can have a passport, but they still can't get in here. It's got like, you got to pull teeth to let them allow them in. And it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Because
I have a video that's always on the ready because when I need it, it's here. Most of the governors are.
governor in history was Jesse Ventura of Minnesota.
Yeah.
Eh,
Wrestler.
I talked to anybody from Minnesota. They had nothing bad to say about him. They loved him up there. Well, he's from there.
late 90s.
Well, he actually knew politics though too. Sometimes these people get in and don't know politics and are riding their waves of like from sports and whatnot. He actually really did know politics.
And he didn't like either party either.
I mean, you don't have to agree with him, but he did know politics. I'm just saying.
To some degree,
He said, when I talked to those people after I got done, I felt like I needed to take a shower. That's bad.
Nah.
Yeah, there looks like there was a couple of links dropped in here. If you were, John, if you were looking for some things on whatever, because here was dropped by Nick.
Okay.
Something on the migrant crossing here. Did you see this? Being bused from El Paso's to other cities. He's saying that there is a process into coming into the United States. You can't just jump the border and say I'm in.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to say about Jesse Ventura. He was a lot like we are. He grew up, for the working class people, and he always was for the working class. Another one was Bruce Springsteen. He was for the working class.
Yeah.
Where he came from.
Yeah. But he was also a boss.
Oh yeah, but you notice he wore plaid
He wasn't
shirts
an
and blue
independent
jeans.
contractor. He was a boss. He was the boss. Yeah, of course, Nick. I mean, this isn't a political show, but on Wednesday or on Sundays, we open up the floor a little bit. I'm careful for a bunch of reasons. I don't lie one place or the other. I don't believe in either party, to be honest. I'm an independent voter.
Neither do I.
And a lot of people, just like some people are independent contractors and they claim it, but they don't fully understand it. A lot of people claim independent contractorship. I'm 50 years old. I'm majorly involved every midterm and every voting. I'm always present. I'm always voting based on going through the whole book and knowing all the propositions, everything. I know what's going on when I go to vote. So I know what I'm doing. So I am truly an independent voter and an independent contractor that understands that process before the gig world too. So I do say that.
Can I ask you guys, in 2020, did you know about Howie Hawkins? Did you know him?
No.
Howie Hawkins, oh my God, he was an independent running for president out of New York State. Yeah, he was for the working class. Everything was all about the working class. That's who I voted for, Howie Hawkins.
Huh. I don't remember. What was she?
Oh, it's a dude, Howie Hawkins.
But what was he running for?
President.
Oh. And when?
2020. That's who I voted for.
I guess I don't even recognize it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they may not end up on the ballot on all states.
Right. No.
But-
no. It's like, what's her name? The Green New Deal out of Berkeley,
Yeah.
Jill. What is it, Jill Stein or whatever?
Jill Stein, yeah. In 2016,
she's always there for a percent just to throw it off,
What's funny is I penciled. You can pencil in who you want. I
Mhm.
penciled in Jesse Ventura in 16, and you know what? He got over 300,000 votes, and he didn't even run. They notified him, and he's like, "Really?"
Yeah. Well, in Colorado, you could vote for what was it? What's his name was on the ballot here? The rapper.
Kanye West.
Yes, it was the only
Oh my
ballot he
God.
made was Colorado. And so, like, you didn't even have to write him in. You could vote for him. He was in the checkbox.
I heard he was kind of out there,
Well, I
kind
don't
of
know how
weird.
you end up in one state's like running boxes and you expect any. I mean, even if you get a couple write-ins here or there, like, what are you really doing? Because if you only end up in Colorado, it's it proved the point. He got like 1% or 0.5% of the vote. It's like, why'd you even? Because here in Colorado, you only have to have 500 signatures. And I can't remember what the other thing is. It's not much or something. It's like $2,000 or something.
Yeah, if we're allowed a candidate,
ballot.
if we're allowed a candidate like you guys, dress like a working man. I don't not a suit and look like a stiff in a coffin. You give me a working man running for president, I'll vote for him because they're just like we are.
How about one that like lounges in his pajamas all day in the state house and is like in a onesie with a unicorn?
I think I'd have to be a little drunk on that one, but you give me a working class man instead of a rich billionaire.
No, we'll say he's a working class. Let's say it's me, and I actually get politics, and I wear a unicorn onesie, and I never wash it. I let it get dirty every day from politics and the world, and I keep going in smelling and dirty, wearing a dirty unicorn, and voting properly. And people won't want to sit next to me, and they won't want to be part of where I'm at.
It'd make you more real. I'll be right back, guys. I'm going to take a 10-100 and get a coffee. I'll be right back. I'll go past this. I'll go past the screen. I'll wave to you guys.
That's gonna be a 10-100.
Nick is saying that he remembers Ross. I remember Ross Perot. He had all those charts and things.
Hello again.
Yeah.
I remember Ross Perot too. I grew up in Texas, so I remember
He'd always have those. I remember he'd always have those charts. Like, and the pointer, like, you see this? This is us. That's where we should be.
All right, let's try this again. All right, sorry about that, guys. All right, we got teched out here. I don't know why my camera won't let me work, but either way, you can hear my voice. That's what matters. So where's Sean? What is Sean's 20 at right now? Where's he hauling to? Did he say earlier?
I don't know. Now on Friday night, he was going to Dodge City, Kansas, and he was in Kansas.
Okay.
Not
I don't know.
sure
It looks
if
like
he's
California, but I can't be too sure. I like his little his dashboard pal there.
Yoda.
Yeah, the baby Yoda.
Right. Yeah. I'm not sure where he's at.
Okay.
My guess is, somewhere maybe going back Illinois way from Kansas.
Yeah, I know he grew up in Chicago. I don't think he's based in Illinois though, but we'll find out when he gets back.
Mm-hmm.
So okay.
Yeah, he provided us an amazing sunset on the Friday radio show as we did it as we did it over here too. We saw the best sunset ever. It was right out his windshield. It was awesome.
Cool.
So, what, John? What were you gonna say about independent contractorship? I saw.
Well, we're just over a month before the election here, and it's Amendment 1, and it's one of those deals where it's on Friday, Congresswoman Virginia Fox, who is the ranking member of the House Education and Labor Committee, she basically sent out warning letters along with some of her subcommittee ranking members, because they're expected to flip the House, and that would make her chair of the Education and Labor. And they're basically reminding people, and I know you did this, Steve, on a podcast a while back where you talked about West Virginia versus EPA, and she basically read them the Riot Act. And if they try to do this independent contractor rule change through the Fair Labor Standards Act, she didn't say these in these words, but she's basically telling them, look, we've got recent Supreme Court legal precedent that we're going to challenge you on that, and basically expect a long protracted court fight. And obviously what people are saying, but that hasn't been made public yet, is that the Department of Labor is recommending.
I remember the West Virginia thing well, because I thought that.
Yeah, they're using the legal precedent from the Supreme Court ruling this year. That's going to be the way to fight back against any more administration overreach versus having Congress legislate what needs to be, which classification test you have to put into federal law. And of course, that's why we've been fighting the PRO Act, because once it's in federal law, it's going to start being in other places. And now that, the PRO Act's been over a year and a half in the Senate and stalled because of the 3 Democratic holdouts, they're trying to look at a sneaky way. But here in Illinois, for the Amendment 1, what is called, it's being billed as the workers' rights. What it really is a backdoor way to bring in AB 5 into Illinois, is that, well, it's phrased very clearly to be employees. And the proponents are taking very liberal advantage of trying to make employees and workers synonymous, which in the eyes of the law, it is not. And we're trying to get the truth out about that here in Illinois, and we're starting to see some resonate the truth. I know one of the editorial interviews had, one of the guys brought up, well, how does this impact independent contracting? And the opponents went after the California situation, but the proponent just says, well, I don't believe it's worth it. So they try to separate, saying it's just about this. But, as Dr. Chavis or any other chess master would tell you, you're not just predicting your own move in a chess match at your turn, and you're not only looking for your next 5 moves, you're looking at your opponent's next 5 moves. So our thinking is, and I think it's very close to the truth, is that if they get Amendment 1 passed, and that's still problematic, if Amendment 1's passed, the word employees is going to mandate that they're going to have to expand the workers into the employee definition somehow. And I think the proponents were going to let the Fair Labor Standards Act do the dirty work. From what Virginia Fox said on Friday, it's looking like, the General Assembly in Illinois is going to have to bite the bullet and put in their own classification, because unfortunately, as we all know, the courts have sided with California on constitutionality of states setting worker classification tests.
Right.
So that's the truth we're trying to get out.
Yeah. What was I talking about the other day? I was talking about the NLRB and the FTC, and how far that I was talking about this weeks ago, but I was talking about this last week too, about how far they're just seem to be crossing all kinds of lines that they've never crossed before. Like, these two should not be working together this closely.
Yeah, I've got the latest article, the press release from the FTC. I'm trying to find the date. It was a couple of weeks ago, like you said. And
I have one from FreightWaves on Friday, the Federal Trade Commission joining independent contractorship fray.
Yeah, that's based off, I think, the September 15th FTC formal announcement that they're going to try to do that.
Right. I think this one was actually, let me see, I'll pull it up, but I think it was saying a couple extra things too. It kind of was, it just was more tightly bonding. As I read this, it was more tightly bonding the FTC and the NLRB than even was before. And for those, I'm sure that a lot of people recognize FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. That one's an easy one, but maybe the NLRB isn't something you use often enough, and that's the National Labor Relations Board. They're the ones who, they'll be the big push on unions and things like that. So you'd think it'd be something fair that represents both sides, but it actually is pretty union based. For those that don't know.
Well, it should be fair. I know maybe the last time, I think it was over a month ago, the last time I was on, we have the unions need to be held accountable too. I think I brought up the Frito-Lay strike last year, and why only one plant and one union local haven't let themselves get into a position like that. If I was an NLRB member, I want to know, well, why with the Frito-Lay with over 30 plants across the country, why is it only your plant having these problems? And how have you represented the members during collective bargaining? And that'd be an interesting conversation to have, because unfortunately that's not the way the NLRB is structured.
Exactly. Well, I mean, if you go look it up, if you were to go look it up on Google, you'd think, well, this is a fair group, but it's not.
Mm-mm.
It's very biased.
I got to ask, what it was you that was talking about co-ops?
I was, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you know who he is.
I'm all for him.
Yeah, you've heard of Professor Richard Wolff?
Yeah.
I was a student of his.
Okay.
That's where I learned it from, and he taught me so many things. He said, "Go read these books, and then come back and we'll talk about it." And when I did, it was like I couldn't believe what I was getting angry when I was reading. I'm like, This is not what I was told to believe and accept without question. I'm reading it, and I'm like, this man's totally different from what I was told.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I broke a toe.
I tell everybody to, I am absolutely for go vote for yourself, but make sure you go vote. But even if like you lean one way or another, I'll tell you this is something I've learned in my years, is don't vote down the ticket. That's a trick. That's why I call myself an independent, true independent, because I like looking at each thing. I might vote somebody here, somebody here, somebody here. I'm not afraid to vote against either side, because I think both sides are screwed up beyond belief.
Oh yeah,
I think that most people can agree on that. That's not even a bad political thing to say. It's all money driven. It's all just different money driven. The outcomes are much different, so you need to vote on those. But it's all pretty dirty games. So
they're both wings on the same foul bird.
Just make sure you're looking into these people, and what they stand for. And you can also look where their money comes from too. And I think that's always a good thing to do. I remember, and I'm sure that, John, I think you will, and Sean, you might, like, I remember I used to be worried about how much big tobacco and stuff would like give to these people. Now that's like not even on my radar anymore.
Yep.
It's like now it's like all this other stuff, and it almost dwarfs the money that, even though it was huge, that Big Cigarette used to give to these people, but like now it's like that's not even the concern. It's like, made like much more money than that ever did is being thrown at them now. And I don't know. I think that would help me if like somehow, because everybody's got ideas on how to kind of fix the system. I think if somehow we could get to a point where you had to run on you, and you were very limited in what intake of money you could use and allocate, I would be for a system like that, where your website had to be, endorsed by the groups you say you're really representing, and that you had to have, all this had to be available to the public, and then you just ran on you. I know that won't happen because big money and debt runs this world, but that's what I would like to see, because I think that's about as close to fair as we'd ever come. Because I mean, it should be that way. It should be like, you should be able to, in your community, At the smallest size, you should be able to be in your community, able to win that community. You shouldn't have to have bribes, money, this, that, the other. You should be able to win that community because you're you and what you stand for. And then as you grow and you do well in that community, now you want to have a political career and you want to go bigger. I'm not against that if you're good at what you did in your community. So now you grow and you go to the next bigger thing. They should already know about you and what you did here. Like your record should dictate what you stand for and where you're going. And a lot of times, you know, like somebody's record might show that they're totally going this way, but they got a big funding and now they're over here. You know, so I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is it seems like they all have a price. They can all be bought. And at some point they all are all bought. Sadly.
Yeah.
It's not,
very rough.
Not happy about this. It's what it is. But yeah, I'm very, you know, I am concerned. I don't know about you, John, but I think when we talked the last time too, like I'm very concerned that not enough people are concerned about what's really going on with independent contractorship. Is the PRO Act getting kicked through? No. But here's what I say to a lot of people. Do most people know how close it was? Not even. People would be very more concerned if they knew how close that PRO Act came to going through.
Yeah, it's no question. It's a matter of, you know, right now, because of the 3 holdouts on the Democratic majority, it's not a case you can just say, well, it's just a filibuster. And you can't say it's Joe Manchin because Manchin is the last person to co-sponsor the bill back in April of last year. So, but here we are, you know, 18 months after it passed, 18 and a half months after it passed the House, it's still in the Senate. No vote's been called. You know,
Right.
Could it be where after the election, and certainly if one of the chambers is flipped, if not both of them, could it be a case where then a deal is going to be cut to get something approved before the end of the year? That's very possible. You know, Mark Warner, in one of my articles, I did find the Mark Warner video from May of last year where he laid out very clearly and holistically what he wants to see done with the existing bill. And like I was saying, I think last time I was on too, you know, I thought this was about collective bargaining. Well, start negotiating and get to a point where you can get something you can pass, and hopefully something that keeps the ABC test out of federal law.
Exactly. And that's kind of, you know, that's where I really saw it, was that after that time, there was a time that again, most of you won't even be aware of it. It wasn't that far ago. I think it was like March of this year. It was about a 3-week period where I literally thought the PRO Act was like, I was like, I can't believe this is going to go through, but it is. And it didn't, but it wasn't like it didn't come down to the wire, guys. It was I was worried, but then they started trying to kick it through in pieces and like dismantle it and like, okay, well, let's send this through with this. So they'd send like some bill through on like, you know, something completely unrelated and take a small portion of the PRO Act and put it in this bill.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were trying to like send it through in pieces, and that didn't work. And it was messing up the bills that should have passed. And so it's just, I mean, that kind of stuff is ridiculous to me. Like if you have a bill on like how we're going to better get stores equipped with baby formula, don't put part of the PRO Act in it.
Mm-hmm.
To make
that shouldn't be able to do that. They should just stick with one topic, go with it, and not add all this other crap in it.
Yeah,
that screws a lot of people.
Well, and they did that with the Competes Act. They did put in PRO Act language for government, for whoever receives government contracts. And I had a feeling the Senate side was going to strip that. I don't know what the final conference committee was, but I know the House passed the Competes Act with ABC language included, and the no one thought it was going to get through the conference committee. And I like I said, I don't know how that ended up. That was over several months back. I have not followed that, but certainly it's they've been trying a little here, a little there, haven't been succeeding. You know, Steve, I was not as pessimistic concerning the PRO Act back in March. I remember last August, not last
maybe
August,
that's what it was. I'm trying
August
to remember because there was,
Well, what we were hearing rumors that 2 of the 3 holdouts are ready to vote for it, but we never saw any proof or evidence, let alone them making a statement saying yes, they would. So I think what may have happened was the media or the unions were starting to say, well, they're getting close, and whatever they're negotiating, you're not seeing it in writing. And, Warner, these guys are not dummies. They're
Mhm.
going to want to see it in writing before they're going to co-sponsor anything. And they've still, over a year later, have not. I think it was
Right.
The Intercept that picked up that story that, very pro-union, thinking that the two marks were ready to vote for it. And then Cinema is the only holdout. But that never materialized. So that was a case of fake news or wishful thinking, which are usually one and the same. And the truth of discernment says, okay, we're here a year later. Obviously that was false. And whatever Warner and Cinema and Kelly want in the bill has not been addressed. I think I said they're going to get a jolt after November 8th that you're going to lose everything if a chamber's flipped and you got to start over again.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to say the ABC test clearly has to go, and that might get two, if not all three of those Democratic holdouts back to supporting it.
So actually, you just hit on something I don't know the answer to. So I'm guessing, I think I do, but I want to make sure. So if the House flipped back Republican and the Senate were to flip, can the Senate still address the bill that the House passed, or does that have to get kicked back to the House?
It has to be. They have to start over when you go into a new Congress. So
there can't be a bill in between the two.
Correct. January 3rd of 2023.
That was what I thought. I just wanted to confirm.
Yeah, that's a confirmation. Yeah, and that's what happened with the PRO Act from 116 to 117. It died after the 116th Congress adjourned for good, and then the 117th, just over a month after the new Congress started, that's when the PRO Act was reintroduced in early February of last year.
Right. Yeah.
Now they expedited it for passage, and it passed on March 9th in the House.
Yeah, I don't know. I have my opinions on I think what'll happen here this election, but who knows?
Well,
Steve,
things are crazy right now. Yeah.
Go ahead, Sean.
Steve, I live in a small Ohio town by the Indiana border on the Ohio side called New Madison. It's about 2,800 people. It's a farm town.
Okay.
And I had a bunch of people that are interested in worker co-op idea, but I'm just amazed at a lot of people that are afraid of it. It's like we're bringing democracy to the workplace. I mean, you love democracy. All Americans love democracy.
Because you're doing it in a way that nobody can argue it. They don't like that because you've avoided union in a way they can't even argue it.
Yeah, well, worker co-op, we won't need unions.
Right.
A good one.
That's what they don't want. They don't want that. Because their battle is better if you're an independent contractor and they can just claim, well, this guy's just out on his own, doing his own thing. We don't like this. Let's get him in a union. But if you're a co-op, and that's pretty much the same as like a business, in the end it is, of some sorts, whatever you choose it to be. But, at that point, what can they do?
The five of us here.
Yeah, I mean, you're a business conforming to business rule.
Yeah, the five of us here can develop a co-op, and be a big size enterprise. We have enough knowledge here where we could do that. But it's a lot of people are afraid of it. It's language they're not used to hearing. And I'm like, you've heard of Land O'Lakes Butter. That's a worker co-op.
Right. But then again, I mean, you got to look at how these all played out. AB5 made it so you couldn't go become a co-op because they tried that. A lot of people I know tried that. They tried to go be a co-op and see if nothing got around it. So once it was in place, I don't know, that really wasn't an option. I have friends who were S Corps. I have friends and they went under because of AB5. Mm-hmm.
Like back to sports. I go up to Green Bay by Lambeau Field all day. You look at Green Bay, you're like, where's the city? You're in it.
Right,
the stadium is the biggest building, but there's a lot of warehousing around there, and they're all worker co-ops. I talk to these people. Now, I hate Green Bay because I'm a Bears fan.
Yeah.
But I love their way of life. They got it right up there. That's why everybody works up there. And when there's a football game, everybody's at the football game.
They got surrounding community though too. They got Madison and Milwaukee, but I guess those are a good stone's throw away that everybody has to truck in. So
that's why that
they do.
The Green Bay community is beautiful. I mean, everybody's like middle class or better.
It's just not what you'd expect to house that many people for a game. Like, then where's everybody live? Like, well, they live way away. You know.
But I give them this. Lambeau is beautiful. It's a beautiful stadium. They built, you know, the Hall of Fame next to it and everything. It's really nice. Even though I hate them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, man, I grew up going to the Pontiac Silverdome, which is, if you guys never got there, the place is the biggest dump ever. How it got certified as an NFL or anything event. Like, I remember back in the day. Back in the day, I saw Pink Floyd there, and it was horrible. The sound was horrible. It was the Silverdome. It was awful. It was like, what is this place? I don't know. It had no, other than like farm shows, I didn't understand, like monster trucks. I didn't understand what the Silverdome existed for.
Yeah, that's why Cobo Hall was great to have a concert, because it was round, and the sound just swirled around, and that's why it sounded great there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
just like Market Square Arena. Market Square Arena in Indianapolis, when it existed, it was perfectly round, just like Cobo Hall, and the sound was perfect in there.
You know, I don't mind the new stadium. I've taken my kid there a few times, but to be honest, I love Old Tiger Stadium.
I was there one time, and I saw
in Corktown. I love being down there. You know, it's like you park in everybody's yards. They just charge you cash. You don't even know if it's fair or legal, if it's their house. But there's nowhere else to park. If you drive in, you had to park on people's yards.
I was there when Cecil Fielder put one on the upper deck in center field. He hit it so high, it went above the light fixtures and disappeared, and then reappeared. The crowd went nuts.
Yeah,
and I was like, "Damn! I've never seen anybody hit a ball like that."
Yeah, I lived there. I was going to games all through the Lou Whitaker era, and I never will forget it sounding like the hardest core boo ever. And I just couldn't, even once I knew I couldn't get it, I just could never hear Lou. It just sounded like boo. And I remember, because the place was like a tin can, for those that haven't been there, the sound was not good. It just bounced off side to side to side, and it got very loud.
But you know, you know as well as I do, that's a poke. To put it in the upper deck in center field, it's 440 feet to the center field fence alone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've been to the new stadium too. I like it. It's great.
I haven't been to the new one though.
I like that they've put everything downtown. I think that's cool. You know, they've given a purpose back to downtown. So that's good.
But I purposely went there because they were going to tear it down, and I wanted to visit because it's historic. A lot of games played. Ty Cobb played there, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. What's his name? I mean, everybody played there. Old Tiger State. There was a Tiger Stadium before Old Tiger Stadium. There was a real hole. It was. I mean, it was. if you look it up, it was built in like the 1920s. It had wooden bleachers with like nails sticking out.
Yeah.
It's like it just looks like everything's going to collapse. I'm not kidding. If you look it up, like it looks like boards were just kind of makeshift to like support and stuff. It does not look pretty. Yeah.
Oh, and then of course, Sean, you might remember Old Comiskey.
Oh, I've been there many a time. Yep.
Yeah, Old Comiskey, and not whatever they call it. The guaranteed rate is not what it's now called, the new Comiskey. But you know, I was thinking, because it was announced back in I think it was August. You know, they're going to make the Ferris Bueller companion movie. You know, with the two guys in the garage on their day off driving the Ferrari across in Chicago. And I just hope the writers do, Ferris and his friends went to a Cubs game. They went to the Art Institute. You know, these two guys have got to go. You got to send them to the South Side, and
they call it.
Put up the old Comiskey, and maybe they'll bump into then 24-year-old Barack Obama community organizing, and they'll walk out saying, "Oh, he'll never amount to anything." And
Wrigley Field, they call that the Ferris Bueller section, along with the Bartman section, because that's where he was sitting.
Yep,
that's
left
the
field.
Ferris Bueller section. That's what they call it.
Yep.
I remember.
DoorDash band, dude. You hope you know what we're talking about here when we say Ferris Bueller. So.
Yeah, everybody our age knows Ferris Bueller. That was a big movie when we were kids.
Of course, Crispy's seen it. You've seen Ferris Bueller's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Even
it's
dude, my son is 16 years old. He's seen it. He knows it without
well,
me.
well. Let's hope you have to try to practice some of the tricks that they showed you there. But you know, we did the. You know, I was thinking because you know they're bringing in for the creative team. You know, they're bringing in the 3 guys who brought back Cobra Kai to be the executive producer for the new Ferris Bueller movie.
Are they going to bring back the originals? I can't remember their name.
I can't remember. I think they're going to have to go. You know, remember they're supposed to be set in 1986 Chicago, so I think everybody's aged up a little too much. So I think they might have cameos in there for you know how
Like the parents. Like their parents. That would be great.
Yeah, yeah. I think the working name is Sam and Victor's Day Off. The 2 garage attendees, the 2 garage attendants.
That took off in the car while they parked it. I remember that.
Exactly. So what did they do for the 175 miles that they drove, that they did the joyride? And of course, they for however many hours, 4 or 5 hours. So that's going to be the movie all in the same day, just like the original. And yeah, the creatives they could do with that are just, you know.
I would have said they could have made it like Rockford or up to Milwaukee to Madison and back down. That'd be about 120.
That's true, but yeah, I'm thinking they got to be driving around. Like I said, keep it to the south side because you know the north side got their exposure in the original. So keep it to the south side of Chicago, and maybe go out on Madison and almost run over Michael Jordan or something like that. You know, obviously a 1986 Michael Jordan. So
I didn't know they were making a movie of it. I want to check that out.
Oh, it's funny. It's like one of our champions.
Yeah,
and Steve, you know, Jennifer Van Laar. She's been interviewed on a San Diego station, and I was listening to that on their live stream, and then they get an ad. Or no, it was a newscast saying, "Oh yeah, they just announced it. A new Ferris Bueller's Day Off." So
he's going to keep calling me and calling me and calling me. I like Cameron's character.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they're gonna do that, because I don't know. It right away reminded me of like Big Lebowski, and when they did that extra one with the Jesus, I don't know. I just felt like that was a wrong way to take that cult movie. You know, I don't know.
I like the beginning of it. He writes a check for 50.
I can't remember what the movie was called, but it was just based around the Jesus bowler.
He wrote a check for a creamer for 59 cents. That was hilarious.
Yeah, the Cretans tape. Oh yeah, that is a great movie. It's in itself, but you can't. They made that spinoff, and it just wasn't. I don't know. It just didn't. I watched it. It just didn't do it for me. Lebowski was a definite cult movie classic.
Yeah, but they'd have to bring Goodman and what's his name back to do the parts.
Right. Well, it wasn't about them. It was about the. That's what I'm saying. The other bowler, the one who kept saying, "Don't mess with the Jesus."
Yeah.
That one.
Forget about the freaking toe.
Yeah. Yeah. You had Buscemi as Donnie, and then you had the Goodman was the once Catholic turned Jew with his ex-wife. So he was like doing all the Jewish holidays, and they're like, "You're not even married to her anymore." It's all that. And if you guys remember, like one of the main lines through the movie was like, "Shut up, Donnie." That's what he told him every time he talked. He's like, "Shut up, Donnie." Pretty funny.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's all I had on independent contractorship.
No, I like to say, is Mike due for your next one of your podcasts this month, Steve?
I'm actually trying to get him to do something that is happening on October 22nd on Pedro's channel, where he's gonna do like a little piece. But we're seeing if that can. We'll know, I guess, tonight if that's going to be in there or not.
Okay.
Well, Steve, you got good people up here giving you good content, for your channel.
Yeah,
I enjoy it because I got you fine people to talk to, or I'd be going crazy talking to myself or my baby Yoda up there on the dashboard my daughter put there.
Yeah, I mean it's been a while since I've had him on, but I mean I do have like an arsenal of good the females that let me into their wolf pack, like Kim Cavan, Karen Anderson, Gail Gordon, and I'm leaving one out.
I don't do very well on women's channels for some reason. I don't do anything wrong.
If you don't know Kim Cavan, I would say watch some of the stuff I've done with her. She's a
pistol.
Yeah, she does not. She'll take a bullet. She'll go into court. She'll she's spoke where she shouldn't have spoke, and like she gets things done.
Oh, good.
Yeah, she's not just talk and she's not just bark. She gets things done.
Because I've been on panels with none but women, and they were picking on me.
No, like she exposed like one of the things in New Jersey, in fact, that happened where New Jersey was voting on something independent, and it really was worded kind of weird. So she went down there and was there for the House vote, and what they were voting on was a pre carve out in case any kind of legislation went through for one independent contractorship to be carved out of any laws that might start. And so she caught on to this, and she released some news about it before anybody, because they were pre-carving out golf caddies.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I think you guys can all imagine right away why all these politicians have golf caddies they love. They're all independent. And
wow, she did it work.
Absolutely, that wouldn't have worked. That was every politician taking advantage of their, well, I want my golf caddy. So it was proof that, like, even,
now I'm thinking of caddy
that some politicians are like, we don't want independent contractors. Yeah, unless they work for you. Then you want them.
If I was there, I'd tell her, $20, the Smales kid picks his nose.
No, she took the mic, and she shouldn't have, in that meeting, and said, why are we dealing with a carve-out for golf caddies for six-figure plus earners and multimillionaires and politicians? We haven't even enacted a law yet. They had to take the mic away from her. Like, it's a state, you can probably find it. It was a state house meeting in New Jersey.
Should have kicked him in the balls.
Man, this woman is kind of yeah, I would. She's a wild card. I wouldn't put anything past her. I wouldn't say she would do that. But I wouldn't. I also wouldn't say the wrong thing to her, man. She's pretty smart, and you definitely don't want to be. You definitely don't want to get into an intellectual argument with her. A conversation's fine, but you don't want to call her wrong, because she can very quickly prove how she's right.
Yeah.
Some people.
I'd like to have an articulate conversation with her.
Yeah, I've had a couple. If you look on my channel, you'll see Kim Cavan on like 3, and they're all good. They're all good ones. She's always, one of them has a golf caddy on the thumbnail. That's my only golf caddy thumbnail. It's got a golf caddy standing on a green holding the flag, and that's Kim Cavan and I talking about this exact instance. So. But yeah, we're coming up on the 2-hour mark, and that's where I'm going to call it, especially because I don't know what happened to Gary, but he's probably programming in the background.
Yeah, that's a very long 10-100.
I am programming in the background.
I knew it. And actually, guys, like I was even gonna let this be the audience. It's kind of like, here's where we are with this. There's this person that's going to stop by, but it's just going to be some random Sunday. So every Saturday, or the last 2, I've sent the person a message. And I get a reply back, like usually Sunday afternoon. I haven't had one yet, but like I did again yesterday. So I think I need to go back a little farther and do it, because I always get it like Sunday afternoon. So maybe I need to send it Friday. But I guarantee you it's going to be so much fun, because it's somebody who can tell us about the sex dolls that Gary and I were talking about here in Denver. Denver Dolls Denver Dolls Limited, or Denver Dolls Ltd, I think .com.
Yeah, LTD, yeah,
is what it is. And it's pretty nuts website if you go there. And so we're gonna have this former stripper here in Denver has a podcast now that's pretty big. actually really big. It's an audio podcast, and she's going to come on here because she did an interview with that company, and she's pretty over the top. I got to tell you, when she does come here, it's going to be a good time for everybody. So make sure you're around.
And I thought you said she was gonna be here today. I was like, yes.
Well, I think it's just that's what she had said. Is she's like, my Sundays are weird. It'll just be some Sunday. So I'm trying to send out that again. I sent out 2 weeks in a row. I've sent out a reminder on Saturday. I get back one Sunday afternoonish. So I got to hit her where she's not getting the email Sunday afternoon going, oh, too late.
Hit her on Friday.
Yeah, I'll try that.
Like hit her on Friday. Be like, hey, you gonna show up this Sunday?
Yeah.
Like Gary's got some questions.
Well, so do I, man. Again,
So
I want to know how clean they are, and I want to know why they pay those people so badly to clean. I mean, dude, they were hiring, and that was not good pay for what you had to do. I mean, what you had to do. I don't care what they give you. I don't care if it's a full nuclear suit with.
What was the pay? What was the pay? Remind me again.
$21
An hour?
for the cleaning, for just cleaning though.
Wait, is that an hour or is that per one that you
No,
clean?
it's an hour, but gross.
Yeah, they like
Dude,
more
$100 wouldn't
than
be
that,
enough
yeah.
for me to get into that situation.
Well, the thing is, like, we have to know how do they clean them now.
I don't.
Like-
That's what I said. Give me the full toxic suit, nuclear spray, whatever. I'm still not going near it.
No, because what if all they do is what if the people who bring them back just put them in a machine and the machine cleans it? Like, okay, like imagine this, Steve. Here you go. I'm gonna break it down for you. Let me move this over so I'm not looking at. Okay, so like the guy brings it back, right? And he just like sets it.
Oh, see
On a-
already,
on a
dude.
thing.
The guy's like pulling it and setting it and removing it from the hotel setup and whatever the other person left its condition in, like the
You gotta
posy
listen-
left
you gotta
her in.
listen.
And,
Listen though.
oh,
like,
Like-
you carry it over your head and it's like dripping like, oh.
Like what if it like puts like hooks underneath the arms and then like it kind of floats through and then you got stuff that pops up and down to clean it?
okay, but what about when you get to the hotel to put it back into the
Well,
omni case?
I don't know. That's not the $21 an hour.
What about when you pick it up off the bed and it drips out of it?
Oh, that's gross. That's gross.
All of a sudden, $21 doesn't even seem
Not even close, right?
$2,000 an hour
How
doesn't work
much
for
do
me.
maids get paid though? How much does a maid get paid?
Why, you're gonna pay the maid in the hallway to do it?
Well, no, I'm saying like maids, they
stick
have
the-
to clean up.
Can you stick that doll in that case for me?
Well, I'm saying like the maids, they don't even have to the doll. They just got it right there on the bed sheets. I mean, like that's gross too.
Right, but they just go in and assume stuff happened and rip those things off and bleach them and.
Well, but they still got to touch them and grab them and. Like,
But
it's
at
still
least it's a
gross.
fabric that's absorbed it.
Well, maybe when they go to pick it up from the hotel room, they just walk in with like a sponge. What if they just walk in with like a sponge and just shove it up in there to block anything?
Dude, okay. When you take is the sponge wet? It can't be wet if you're trying to absorb. So you're sticking a dry sponge in
I
there.
guess.
You know damn well when you
It's not
first
like it's a
push
living
this-
being.
When you first push it through, things could shoot out all over.
Well, I don't know. I've never messed with one of these dolls, so I'm not 100% sure. But I think you need to go do a job there.
Well, that's why we'll talk to Pixie.
No, I mean, why can't you just go apply?
Because I'd rather hear from her how bad it is. 'Cause
No,
she-
it'd be a lot better if we had firsthand camera experience when you went to go pick one up.
Dude, it would just be me throwing up. I'd have a GoPro on, and I'd keep leaning over and puking. You would not see me get within 10 feet of that doll.
That's funny.
You know, not a chance, dude.
Wait, when's your bachelor party?
I don't know what that has to do with them cleaning anything.
It doesn't, but I'm gonna rent one for you.
Dude, these are so gross. I really hope it's next week. Just like Gary was hoping this week, I was too, but I'm gonna send it out again. She said, yeah, her and I have communicated for a long time, so she has no intention to not do it. And she's pretty open. If you listen to her other podcast, it's called Next on Stage. She was a kind
Former
of a legend stripper here in Denver. She worked at all the higher class places, and for the more executive type clients. But she lived her years of the crappy places too, so she's got the full realm spectrum. But she's been all up in these dolls, and so we'll be able to get firsthand what she thought. Because she went and interviewed the CEO and like toured the dolls.
Oh, do you think that they would let us tour whenever I come up there? Yeah.
Yeah, can you put this one in this position? I'll take this one in this position.
No, seriously,
I want to come
Steve,
in and
Steve, like seriously, you should call them and be like, "Hey, we have a YouTube channel, and maybe on like the 21st or the 23rd, we can go tour the facility."
right, yeah. Maybe we need to like buy our way in with like a different approach though. Like, is there like a sex con? Like we're with Sex Con. Something they would really be interested in. Oh yeah, we want you to tour the
Sex Con.
Well, there's got to be like a Vegas Sex Con.
I know we gotta ask Roy.
I mean,
He's in Vegas,
right? But there's got to be some. I mean, there's probably hundreds of them, but there's got to be a big one. I've done trade shows all over the country for things,
but to do that though, they're gonna be like expecting people with badges and card. You gonna order some cards real quick?
No, I'll just look into it and find the names of the people who are in PR, and we're just two of those people.
Until they Google us, like y'all look nothing like these people.
Well, that's because we get a lot of hate
Yeah.
crimes threatened on our families. So
we use fake pictures online.
yeah, that's what we'd say. Yeah, we use fake pictures because there's a lot of people who don't like the sex game. We're sure you can relate. I don't know.
I'm gonna email them, see if they'll let us go tour it.
It's not like a brewery, bro. You
never know. You never know. Like you don't know until you ask. Like I don't want to. Like it's not like we're asking to, have a free hour with a thing to see how it operates. Like no, we just want to know how's your cleaning station look, things like that.
You guys, again, if you want to check it out, it's Denver Dolls. I think LTD.com.
No, Denver Doll. Okay.
LTD. Denver Doll LTD.com. It's definitely these things have to be a lot of money because of if you look into it, what they charge to rent them out. They got to cost a ton to just get one. So there's got to be something way different about these. And they do look, as close to realistic as I could imagine. They're weird, but...
They don't look anything realistic.
No, but...
Okay, gentlemen, on that good note, I'm going to call it an afternoon. Y'all have a great rest of the day. Yep. Thanks for having me on, Steve, and everybody take care. Yep. Take care of Bandit. Take care of Gary.
Be safe, brother.
Later, guys.
Bye-bye.
I'm doing the same and getting out of here. I was hoping on SexCon today, but I guess SexCon will be next week. With or without her, we'll have it. We'll invite Roy on and have him break it down for us. We've never asked Roy to come on here and give us the full Vegas breakdown on strippers and hookers.
Yeah, we can definitely ask him.
Like, I don't want to hear anything about his push for no lop. I just want to hear about strippers and hookers.
Strippers and hookers.
I want all your knowledge, Roy. Tell me everything about Las Vegas and strippers and hookers. From the alleys to the mole people underneath the ground to...
he's got some good stories too. So.
Yep.
I know Sean just joined back, but maybe he didn't hear that we was ending it.
Yeah, we're pulling the plug, Sean, but we'll bring you back in for just the view real quick as we end this. But hey, Sean, we are wrapping this up. Guys, we are wrapping this up.
Yes, sir.
See you next week. And we'll either be talking with a former stripper or Roy.
Not even a good comparison.
Have a good one, you guys. Peace.
See you later.